The wind howled over the jagged cliffs of Varkol Prime. A harsh and desolate moon bathed in the pale light of its distant red star. Broken husks of old war machines lay buried in the sand, relics of the last war fought here half a century ago. The air was thin, the terrain unforgiving. No place for cowards. Lieutenant Elias Voss adjusted the oxygen regulator on his helmet and continued up the rocky slope. His boots crunched over black glass and ancient bones, remnants of battles no history book bothered to record anymore. He wasn't here for history. He was here for her. High on the ridge stood a lone figure, tall, armored in boneplate and shimmering crystal. Her 4 eyes glowed softly under the shadow of her battle helm. Her backlit silhouette framed by the sinking sun. The spear she held in her right hand vibrated with energy, its point pulsing like a heartbeat. Her left gauntlet shimmered, fingers splayed in a warning gesture. "One step closer and you die," she warned, voice low and melodic, though it carried the weight of a dozen executed threats. Elias didn't flinch. He raised his empty hands, palms out, and took another deliberate step forward. The alien warrior tensed. "You heard me," she said. "Human. You come closer again and I strike." "I heard," Elias replied calmly. "And I still stepped forward." "Are you suicidal?" she asked, head tilting slightly. Her voice edged with something that wasn't quite curiosity, more like irritation layered over caution. "No," Elias said. "But I'm not backing down either." The galaxy called her Kalari, the last Blade Warden of the Avan dynasty. Her kind had once ruled 5 sectors with unrivaled martial prowess. That was before the fall. Before her people were nearly wiped out by their own allies and betrayed into extinction. Now, she was a ghost of an empire long dead. And she had something Earth Command wanted. In the ruins of the fortress below the ridge, hidden deep beneath layers of crystallized rock and energy shielding, was a star map. Not just any star map, but one encoded with the locations of ancient jump gates, artifacts from the precursor era that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Elias's mission was to retrieve that map. There was just one problem. Kalari stood guard over it. Not as a mere sentry, but as its chosen keeper. She was supposed to be impossible to reason with. Dozens had tried. None returned. Elias figured it was time someone tried something different. "I'm not here to take what's yours," Elias said, stepping forward once more. Kalari's spear hummed louder. "That is a lie," she said. "You all come for the same reason. You want the map, the gate path. You want power. And you believe my extinction makes it acceptable to steal from the ashes." "I came to talk," Elias insisted. "I was briefed on you. You could have killed me 3 steps ago. You didn't." She didn't deny it. But she didn't lower her weapon either. "That doesn't mean I won't. I'm counting on you not having to." Kalari's eyes narrowed behind her visor. "Then speak quickly. Before my patience expires." Elias took a breath. "I've read about your people. About how the Blade Wardens swore oaths to protect knowledge, not hoard it. That's what the precursor vaults were. Knowledge, not weapons." "Knowledge is a weapon," she replied coldly. "That is what your kind never understood. It corrupts those not ready to wield it." "And you think humanity isn't ready?" Elias challenged. "I know you're not." Another step. Her spear point was now just inches from his chest plate. "Then help us," Elias said softly. "Don't give us the map. Teach us what it means. Guide us." Kalari laughed bitterly. "Guide you? I am the last of my kind. Queen without a court. A sentinel to a future that died centuries ago. Why would I help you?" "Because maybe it's not about the past anymore," Elias said. Maybe it's about not letting it die in vain. For a long moment there was silence. The red sun dipped lower, casting both figures in long shadows. The wind calmed for a moment, carrying only the whir of Elias's rebreather and the soft crackle of Kalari's energy armor. Then, with a sudden motion too quick to follow, Kalari struck. Elias didn't move. The spear point stopped just shy of his neck, buzzing faintly. A single shift and it would slice through his carotid. His heart pounded. But he didn't back away. "Why?" she whispered. "Why aren't you afraid?" "I am," he said honestly. "But I won't let that fear decide for me." She stared at him for a long time. Then slowly, very slowly, she lowered the weapon. "You're either very brave," she murmured, "or very foolish." "I've been called both," he said with a shaky smile. Kalari allowed him to follow her into the ruins. The descent was a maze of obsidian tunnels, collapsed bridges, and glowing glyphs older than human civilization. Elias marveled at the alien architecture, fluid, crystalline, and impossibly advanced. Every wall told a story. Wars, treaties, betrayals, the rise and fall of empires. At the core of the complex, they reached a chamber of white stone and living crystal. Hovering in the center was the star map, a sphere of shifting constellations, alive with pulses of precursor data. It was beautiful, mesmerizing, dangerous. Kalari stood beside it, eyes fixed on the shifting stars. "This is more than coordinates," she said quietly. "It's a history of choices, of mistakes, of hope." "Then share it," Elias said. "Let us learn from it." She turned to him. "If I do this, the star map becomes part of your history. Are you prepared to bear the weight of my people's end?" "Yes," he said. "And to carry it forward." They spent 3 days in the ruins. Kalari taught him how to interpret the map, not just the paths, but the warnings encoded in light and tone. It wasn't just about travel, it was a philosophy, a legacy encrypted in stars. She showed him records of peace treaties once forged across species lines, and how they were broken. The rise of synthetic life. The echoes of civilizations devoured by their own ambition. He listened. He learned. And Kalari began to change. The distrust in her eyes faded. The edge in her voice softened. She began asking questions. About Earth. About music. About trees. "Is it true your people plant forests just for beauty?" she asked one night, sitting beside him near a dormant plasma vent. "We plant them because we hope someone will enjoy them long after we're gone," Elias replied. She was quiet for a while. Then she said, "That's something my people never understood. We only built for permanence, not pleasure. Then maybe we can teach each other." On the 4th morning, Elias activated his comms. "This is Lieutenant Voss. I've secured the coordinates. But there's something more. Prepare for transport, 2 souls." There was a pause. "Confirmed, Lieutenant." 2. Elias glanced at Kalari, who stood at the edge of the chamber, looking toward the sky through a broken section of ceiling. "Yes," he said. 2. Earth Command wasn't sure what to make of her at first. A living alien war relic who walked like royalty and spoke 10 languages, half of them extinct. But Kalari made no demands. She offered knowledge. Insight. She taught them not just how to find the ancient gates, but how to approach them with reverence. And Elias, he became her liaison, her translator, her student, and eventually her friend.